Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle. For those of you who do not know me, hi, welcome. I'm so glad you stopped by today. So I've had a couple of people here, some newer subscribers of mine, asked to kind of see a palette collection, an eyeshadow palette collection. So I thought I'd go through and show all of the palettes that I have in my collection. Now I do want you to understand some of the palettes I do not use physically on my channel, either because, well, basically I'm not supporting the brand anymore, and I will indicate what items and things those are, so just be aware of that there are certain things that I'm just not going to use. But without further ado, let's get into it. I have quite a few palettes, so if you haven't already, I suggest going and getting yourself a snack and a drink. Go ahead and pause the video and go do that, because you're going to be here for a minute. So first and foremost, why don't we get the two brands that I do not use on camera out of the way. The first brand, of course, is Kat Von D. This is the I Am Divine palette, or the Divine palette, and that is what that looks like there. I don't really reach for this as much as I thought I would when I purchased it. I kind of purchased it because I do enjoy drag and I do enjoy Divine, and I was super excited when I first got it. But it's also become kind of one of those things where I don't want to use it and I don't want to have to list it in my description box. So, yeah, I don't really use it. But I also don't want to get it out of my collection because it is a beautiful palette. Then we have the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette. And if you guys have been here for a while, you know that my best friend gifted this palette to me. I still do enjoy this palette from time to time. I need to play with it a bit more than I have. But again, it's kind of one of those, I don't know. I might actually do a project pan or pan that palette with this or the Divine one. I'm not sure, but this is a sentimental kind of thing to me. I'm very sentimental when someone gives me something. I like to keep it, I like to hold on to it, so this palette has a lot more meaning than just being a Kat Von D palette. The next brand is Tarte, and I have two palettes from Tarte. The first one is the Rainforest of the Sea, and I do show this one on camera from time to time because I am trying to pan it. That is what it looks like right now. Making some progress. But I do, in general, like this palette. I like to use the three brown shades here that have pan for my brows and this to set, and I'm starting to work on this highlight shade. Just making progress. I'm hoping by the end of the year that every single shade has pan in it. That is my goal with this palette. Then there is the Tarte Clay Play palette, and this was sent to me, I don't want to get the mirror in there. This was sent to me by my friend Raven here on YouTube, and I really do like this palette. I need to kind of play with it a bit more, but it's probably not something I'm generally going to play with on camera. Unless I put it in like a project pan or something like that, which could happen. The next three palettes are from Face Candy, and some of these palettes I still have yet to kind of play with. I'm hoping to be able to play with them soon and do videos on them. I just kind of went on a purchase overload and I kind of needed to slow down. So this first palette is the Rainforest palette, and it still has its little cover there. This is supposed to be a dupe of a Lime Crime palette. I don't support Lime Crime, but I had my eye on this palette, and so when I saw the dupe, I thought I need to pick that up, and I'm hoping to be able to play with it soon. Then we have the Face Candy Atlantis palette. I really like this palette. It is a powdery eyeshadow. Most of Face Candy's palettes are a powdery formula, but that doesn't bug me too much. They're very pigmented. You do need a glitter glue with this one. Then we have the Vice palette, which I've only kind of played with once, and the whole reason I purchased this was because of the purples and because of my friend Amy from AOK Beauty, and I need to play with this one much more. Then we have 3 palettes from the brand Okalon. So the first palette here is the Sailor Matte Eyeshadow Palette, and this is another Lime Crime dupe. I've played with this one here and there. I actually won this one and another Okalon palette in a giveaway. But the one that I purchased is the Okalon Metal Matte Palette. And it is a dupe for the Kat Von D Metal Matte Palette. And I really, really like the shimmers in this. I need to play with the mattes a bit more, but I do enjoy the shimmers. Also, if there are palettes you would like to see a 3 Looks 1 palette video on, let me know. I'm also going to link my playlist to 3 Looks 1 palette just so you guys can see which palettes I've actually done that with. And that will be in the cards as well as the description box. Next is the Okalon Pressed Pigment palette, and this is supposed to look like the Alice Through the Looking Glass palette. I have not gotten to play with this much. I need to. Every time I look at it, I'm like, ooh, pretty. I want to do this, this, and this, but I need to play with it a bit more. And this green shade, Hatter. Oh, it just calls to me every time I open this palette. Okay, the next items in here are from ColourPop. I have the ColourPop Mar palette. That's what this one looks like. Sorry, Monster Michelle, I keep showing the palette that you want. I'm tempting you. Sorry. But I do really enjoy this palette. Then we have the Elements of Surprise, and I got this one in BoxyCharm. I've only played with this one a couple of times. I do need to really play with it some more. And then we have the My Little Pony palette, and I absolutely love this palette. I know not everyone does, but I really enjoy it, and I need to play with it more. Then we have the 2 palettes here I have from Makeup Revolution. The first one is the Ultra Eye Contour Light and Shade palette, which is a Kat Von D dupe. I dug my finger into that. Raven sent me this one as well, which was very nice of her. I do need to play with that one a bit more. And then I have the Makeup Revolution Flawless 3 Resurrection palette. And that is what that one looks like. It is a very neutral palette. I keep debating whether to keep this one or to get rid of it. And then I just continue to keep it. So I don't know. I need to play with it a little more and get my final thoughts on that guy. Then we have palettes from Bad Habit. We have the Retro Love palette, which is a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. I actually really like this palette and find that it holds up pretty well when I've done looks and stuff. I really like this green icon, and I don't really have issues blending any of these shades or using any of these shades, so I find that to be a good dupe. Then we have the Aftershock palette by Bad Habit. I still have not gotten into this palette. I swatched the yellow because I could not resist, but I need to play with that because, oh, that yellow is calling to me. I really want to do like a yellow and pink, like bright eye with this, and I don't know, mix so many colors in there. But this is a Huda Beauty dupe, and I can't wait to play with that one. So that is the top on my list to get into. Then I have the Bad Habit Athena palette. That is what that looks like, and I really do enjoy this palette. A couple of these shades are a little difficult to work with, but the mattes overall are pretty good, and I actually like the glitter shade in here. I like it. Then we have the Impressed You by Beauty Glazed, and it is a dupe for the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, and I have decluttered this and then it got back in my collection, and I'm kind of glad it's back in my collection because I do enjoy this palette and I really need to play with it some more. I'm not sad it's back, okay? Then we have my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. I have the Modern Renaissance palette, and you guys know I'm trying to pan some shades in there. We're making progress, slowly but surely. Woo! I almost dropped it. Don't drop that. Then I have the Prism palette. So I'm someone who actually really does like the Prism palette. I like the layout. I like the color story. I like to kind of play around with the odd color combinations in here. And I think between the Modern Renaissance palette and the Norvina palette that this can be a good complementary palette to each of those for various reasons. But yeah, I like it. I know, unpopular opinion, not everyone likes it, not everyone has a use for that palette. Then here is the Norvina palette. I just got this one. I've been creating looks with this guy. Up at the end of this week, I'm probably going to have 2 different 3 looks 1 palettes this week because I did not get to upload my Norvina one last week as planned just because life happened. So there will probably be 2. Then I have some of my single shadows here in palettes. These are ones that I'm working on for a project pan, my 90s project pan. I'll have that linked up in the cards as well. In here are some Ofra blushes, a highlighter shade, actually that's a highlighter from Looks to Kill Cosmetics, and then some of the Birthstone collection from Sparrow Cosmetics. Up next are 2 highlights from Sparrow Cosmetics. I have, oh no, no! I have some shades from Ammo Cosmetics. I need to repress that. That just makes me sad. I have 4 highlights from Shop Miss A. I have the Shade Beauty. I have, I think, yep, Scenic City Cosmetics right here. All fun stuff that I like to play with. Also, if you guys are curious about any of these indie brands, I do have reviews up on my channel of all of the indie brands that I have currently in my collection, and I will link that playlist down below and in the cards. Then I have some ColourPop single shadows here. I have Cadaver Cosmetics shades right here, and then all of these are Enchanted Luster Cosmetics. This is a sample highlight of an Urban Decay highlighter that I got when I did Sephora Play. No, not Sephora Play. Ipsy. Then I have my Coastal Scents shadows as well as highlights and blushes from Shop Miss A. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to move on to bin number 2 now. The first 2 things I have in here are from DKB Glitter. I'm actually going to set this bin and transfer things back. So those are some of my DKB Glitter shades. I really like DKB Glitter, even though one of my glitters did get mold in it. It happens. So, you know, I don't know what happened to it, but it happens. This is the other one. That is what those look like. Love DKB Glitter. Okay, so we're going to get into my BH Cosmetics obsession. I have several palettes from BH Cosmetics. I really enjoy BH Cosmetics. So, yeah. The first palette here from BH is the Solar Flare palette. That is what that is. A lot of these are their baked eyeshadow formula. I really enjoy them. I also kind of want to own all of these space-themed palettes they come out with. It's my one flaw with collecting things. Then we have the Aurora Lights. As you guys know, this is a newer palette of mine, but I really do love it. Then we have the Galaxy Chic palette, which started my fondness of BH Cosmetics. As you guys can see, some of those domes are down because I used to use this palette all the time, especially the shades Prometheus and Aphrodite. Then we have the Supernova palette, and that is what this looks like. To me, this is a cool tone version of the Galaxy Chic palette. That's just my opinion. A lot of the shades are similar. Then we have the Weekend Festival palette. I absolutely love, love, love this palette. I really enjoy this palette. If you're going to purchase, well, I think they are no longer selling it, which is kind of sad. I don't understand. Like, keep one of your amazing palettes. Then we have the Take Me Back to Brazil palette. That's what that looks like. It is a rainbow palette. I love rainbow palettes. Then we have the BH Cosmetics Cool Stone palette. And it is a bunch of cool toned shades. I almost said cool stoned shades. But I really like this palette. Not everyone does. I enjoy it a lot. Then we have the Blush Neutrals palette. I like this palette. I need to reach for it more. It is a very neutral, pinky, mauvey palette, but it is very pretty, and the blushes are gorgeous in this palette. Then we have the Smoky Eyes 28 color eyeshadow palette. Oh no, I can't open it. That is what this palette looks like. I really do like this one as well. I like the darker blues and the grays. It's just a very nice palette to create a very smoky look. Then I have the Zodiac palette, and I'm still kind of iffy on the Zodiac palette, but that is what it looks like. I enjoy the baked shadows in it. The mattes are kind of hit and miss with me, and the highlighter in it is decent. Next up are all of my palettes that I only have one of, meaning that only one from a certain brand. The first one is my Crown Pro Glam Metals palette. I like this a lot. I know not everyone likes a bunch of shimmery shades, but I enjoy them. I reach for this constantly. My favorite one right here is Rebel, and I will wear those on my eyes from time to time. Then we have the Alamar Cosmetics palette. You guys, I absolutely love this. This is one of my favorite palettes from BoxyCharm. It is so beautiful. Those shimmer shadows are amazing. Then we have the Saharan by Juvia's Place, which was so kindly sent to me from my YouTube friend Amanda. And that is what that looks like. In all honesty, I really do need to reach for this a lot more than I do. Then we have the Laura Lee Los Angeles Party Animal palette, and I'm still kind of getting my ideas on this palette and everything. I am going to be putting one of these palettes in the giveaway, as well as doing a 3 looks 1 palette, which will be up this week. Then I have a Stila eyeshadow palette, and it is Eyes Are the Window, and this is the Body palette. There are a lot of glittery shades in there, but I was drawn to the purple and that, and I got this at TJ Maxx for I think 12 bucks, so worth it. Then I have the Hasina palette, and that is what the Hasina palette looks like. I am really enjoying playing with this palette. I am glad I picked this palette up, and I'm hoping to be able to pick up the Hasina 2 palette as well as the Blossom palette from Blush Tribe. I'm getting more and more back into my obsession with indie makeup brands, and I'm loving it. Then I have the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes, and I really enjoy this palette. I reach for this palette actually more than you guys probably know. I don't really use it that much on camera, but I do enjoy it. And I am so glad I got this and got rid of the original Sweet Peach palette because I prefer that one. Then we have my Carity 21 Highly Pigmented Eyeshadow palette. I love this thing. I am obsessed with this palette. This is a favorite of mine. This is a, I don't know. I'm just so glad that I picked up this palette. I love it, love it, love it, love it. And I want to pick up more Carity palettes because I think they are a phenomenal brand. Then I have this City Color Hypnotic palette. This is an all shimmer palette, but I really enjoy this. It's funny to me that sometimes I'm really into an all shimmer palette and will use it. Other times I'm like, nope, declutter, pass it along to a friend. This is one that I'm glad I have just because I think it has some unique shades in it. For shimmers, I really do like this bright yellow shimmer. I like this green. I like it. Okay, I like it. Then we have the palette that kind of started it all for me. This is my Urban Decay Full Spectrum palette. I think even when this one goes completely bad, that this will forever be in my eyeshadow collection. It is what kind of brought on my love of, you know, color, and I just enjoy playing with it. I am not the biggest fan of the formula now that I've used several other eyeshadow brands and things like that. But I really do enjoy that palette, and I feel lucky to have been able to get that palette because it kind of started my whole makeup collection. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. As well, if there is a palette you would like to see 3 looks 1 palette with, leave it down below. I will also have that playlist linked. Thank you guys again. Hope you have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are, and bye!